Good morning. It's Tuesday the 8th, and got some activity going on here today. So today I get the pleasure of sealing off these. I told my framers to do it, but miscommunication. They didn't quite understand about why I was trying to do that. So I'm just gonna do it myself. I've got some 1/2-inch polyiso insulation board. I'm just gonna stick up there because once we build the soffits, it'll actually cover all that up. So I'm gonna just cut some strips of polyiso board, stick them up there, mark the rafter tails, and then just take a utility knife and cut out the rafter tails, and we'll just slide it up into place. And then we'll spray foam off all the gaps to seal this off. So I gotta go do this here on the other side of the dormer. And then on the inside, we've got some strips running up that. So I'm just gonna probably glue them or something to the top and just seal off that top cavity because some of those gaps are pretty big. So we'll seal that all off. They are gonna run a 2x6 up there, so I might just wait and let the cornice guys run a 2x6 through there because they're gonna have to run a 2x6 for that soffit. Yeah, actually, that's what I'll do. Thinking out loud here. Sorry about that. So they'll run a 2x6, and then we can just spray foam it from the backside and seal it off. So like I mentioned in other videos, like we're doing a hot roof. This is all sealed off, so we're not venting it at all. So we have to make sure that we're sealing all the air gaps. So the plumbers are here today. The plumbers install crew, the main plumber guy came by earlier. We walked the house, laid everything out, and then the installers are here drilling holes and running pipes and all that stuff. So, and then also the concrete guys showed up today. Had a little quote unquote scare last night. All of a sudden I was sitting there in bed with my son watching TV last night about 7 o'clock, and I get an alert on my camera. Truck pulls up in the driveway, and I'm like, who the heck is that? And I'm like, I turn on the little siren on the camera, and I start telling him. He's like, oh, okay, we're with Appalachian. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I had texted Martin, the guy who sort of runs all the slab crews earlier, and told him, yeah, hey, we're ready for you to come do the front porch slab. So they're starting on that today. So they are working on that. We're gonna dig some grade beams in here and prep the slab, and then they're gonna come pour concrete on the front porch slab. So we'll get that poured here probably, if they're prepping it today, probably here in the next week or so. We'll have a front porch slab poured, and then once that's poured, then we can actually set our posts in here. So we got progress there. I've got some I don't have to insulate any of this. They did forget to tape that joint, so I do need to tape that joint. And then I don't need to insulate this because this is actually completely sealed off from the rest of the attic space with sheathing, so we don't need to worry about this part. So we got to insulate this right here, this little section here, and then we got to do over here this little bit right here. We got a little bit right there, and then same on the other end of the house. Some of that I'll actually do from the attic since it's kind of high up. I do have a tall ladder, but so that's the plan. So we got a lot of movement coming today. Yesterday I had one drywall contractor come by, a company that I used to actually drywall the basement at our old house. And they're a big drywall company here in Atlanta that does a lot of volume. So he came by and quoted this, or he measured yesterday, so he's gonna run me a quote. And then I also have another guy coming by tomorrow. And then I reached out to another drywall company, and their guy hasn't called me back yet. So I don't know what his deal is and why he's taking so long to call me back, but he might not get the job. So we had that yesterday. Who else came by yesterday? I got one of our bids on our HVAC back yesterday. I already had kind of a friend of mine that's done a lot of HVAC work for me over the years. He's already given me a quote, and then I had another pretty large new construction HVAC company, Stewart Pro Heating and Air. They're a pretty large volume heating and air company. They're actually not too far from here. They're over in Buford. They came out, or they measured. I sent them the plans, and they gave me a quote yesterday. It was a little bit more than my original budget. I had budgeted $26,000, and they came in at 32. But I also had, I wanted to do a mini split system, basically that serves the garage and the bonus space upstairs. But in light of the budget and how far over budget we are, I think I'm just gonna wait and do the mini split in the garage later. And I'm gonna go ahead and run some wiring, and we'll put the head down here on this wall. And then I'll actually stick the outside unit over here on the side of the house later. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the wire for it, and we'll do that install later. And what we'll probably do is just condition this space up here off of the upstairs unit. So we'll upsize the upstairs unit a little bit more to cover this room up here. And that'll cover this area. So we'll come in a little bit less because that mini split system's like $4,000. So by the time we upsize the other system, that'll probably be another $1,000 on top of that, plus some ductwork and whatnot. So we'll probably ended up maybe a couple grand less. So we'll come in at 30, and I'd originally budgeted 26. So we're not that far off. Plus systems and stuff have gone up since I originally figured the budget, as everything else is continuing to increase in price. So we'll get those HVAC. They said they can get started, if I do decide to go with them, they can get started at the end of next week. We'll get the HVAC in, and then me and my buddy, my electrician, we're gonna walk the house this evening and start figuring up how many boxes and switches and all that stuff, how much wire we need and all that. And we'll probably get started on the electrical here at the end of February. I'm shooting for like basically once the HVAC guys are done, we'll start on the electrical. I need to follow up with the fireplace guy. He's supposed to come by this week. I don't know what day he's coming by yet, so I need to check in with him, see when he plans on coming by. So yeah, that's what's going on around here. So got a lot of activity going on. You can see we did some gravel out here just to knock down the mud a little bit. Spent a heck of a lot of money on gravel, that's for sure. We'll bring in a little bit more gravel once we're all done, and gravel under this. I'm gonna bring some more in and actually compact. We'll run a compactor over this area and compact this in, because this is trailer parking area right here. So yeah, that's what's going on. All right, guys. Well, that's the update for today. Nice to see movement. Here's the other side of the house that you probably didn't see. We did do a little eyebrow roof over these doors. That way we'll keep water off of the doors. I feel like I probably should have just extended it out to here and done it a little bit further across and just did it all across here. I might still do that. I can go do that myself. As I look at it, I feel like maybe I should have done that. So that's an easy change. I can change before the cornice. Oh, that's the other guy that came by. Cornice and siding guy came by yesterday, measured everything out. So he's going to work me up a bid for the cornice and siding. So cross our fingers that one comes in okay. But that's where we're at. So, all right, guys. Talk to you later. See you. Bye. All the deer. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can only kind of see like 3 of them right there. Okay, so it's the morning of the 9th. We're gonna actually pour the front porch slab today at 11:30. Or I should say place concrete today, as they say. I was just sort of sweeping all that off, cleaning up that off. We're gonna put the waterproofing membrane on there, a PT13 membrane over that, seal it up real good so no water can kind of get down behind that and get into the foundation area. Also, before we do all our siding and stuff, we're going to run a piece of flashing over the top of the concrete lip all the way around where the joint is. I'm going to caulk and seal that, and then also run a piece of metal flashing over. So if any water does come down, which it's not really going to see any water on this front porch other than if you were like pressure washing it or something, that'll kick out and go away. And then we're sloping the porch. It's going to be 5 inches thick on this end and 3.5 inches thick on the other end. So basically 1.5 inches of pitch across this span. So we've dug grade beams in here all across. This will provide additional support for the concrete slab. So we'll actually run some more steel in here. So these are just sort of support the slab a little bit more. So we got a grade beam there, basically where all the beam pockets are. And then he didn't do one right here. I wonder why. I don't know why he didn't do one there. It's interesting. I guess he'll probably dig that out and let it sit down. Yeah, because he dug that one out. I don't know. I'll ask him about that today. But so we got grade beams in the long sections. That should support the concrete slab. And then this dirt under here is pretty well compacted out. I mean, it's not compacted, but we got one good heavy rain that settled, or we got a couple good, really, really heavy rains that actually settled this dirt down like a good foot before we even started on the house. And then this got rained on a couple more. We backfilled this again, and it got rained on a couple more times. And then all the workers walking across all this and stepping, during framing, we were walking all over this, packing this all in. So I think this is fine. I don't think that we're going to have any issues in the future from the slab. Because again, we'll have these grade beams in there. That's extra thickness reinforcement, and they'll have steel in them. And then we'll have a grid of steel tied in this. So I do not foresee us having any issues with this slab in the future. As you recall from the other videos, we had kind of an overzealous engineer that wanted to just go way overboard. Why does he have that at 5.5 inches? That's supposed to be a 5 inches, not 5.5. I don't know why he did that. So I got to figure out why he's got it at 5.5. I'll ask him today. So yeah, I'm gonna come in here with a blower here in a minute and just sort of blow out any dust in here right before, and then we'll start this membrane. We're using a PT13 waterproofing membrane. It's basically a self-adhered membrane you would use on a foundation, and we're gonna run it up the wall a little bit and then lap it over this seam right here just a little bit, and that will stop any water from getting in the bottom plate. And then that'll be taped to the wall. So we'll have a nice, good, secure thing. As you can see right here, so what he did is he dug down to, there are some finger walls that we put out here when we poured the foundation walls, and these are the supports for the front porch slab. So basically what's going to happen is these are the front steps. We have 2 steps here that'll go down to grade. So that's dropped down 24 inches, and then the concrete's going to go up, and it's going to go underneath this and come out a little bit further. And those are going to be supports for the sidewalk whenever we pour the sidewalk. So we'll actually run the sidewalk up to the bottom here. So basically that'll be the front edge of the bottom step, and then the sidewalk will tie in under there and lap over the concrete that's poured, so it'll give it support from falling down this way. And then the sidewalk will just run out and over that way. So that's our plan. We got our steel dropped off this morning, so he's got enough steel to do what he needs to do. And we'll go in the house today. So plumbers were working out here till 9 o'clock last night with like headlamps and stuff. But they've got most of the plumbing rough in. I guess they had to redo their holes, and hopefully they fill that back in. So we've got our kitchen sink drain right here. This is our sink drain. And we've got some lines running up here. One of those is the hot water recirc line. We're going to have a tankless hot water heater, and there'll be a recirc line. You got a drain coming from upstairs. That's the drain for the bathroom upstairs. And coming over here to this side of the house, we've got We got our tub in there. They still have to hook up all the valves and stuff today. They haven't done that, but they've sort of placed all the valves around where they need to go. And I dropped off all the rough-in valves for them to use. We've got our double vanity here with our vent pipe going up. We've got another stack for the upstairs bathroom. So for this bathroom up here, this all runs in here and ties down. That goes down into the basement. And then we've got a bunch of pipes down in the basement, and then they all exit the house in that far corner over here. So they all run along through the joist space here. We got pretty good clearance till we got right about in here, and then we started dipping below the ceiling level just a little bit, like 1/2 inch. So I think in this room downstairs, whenever we finish that out in the future, I'll just have to fur down the ceiling like 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, probably just 3/4 inch. We'll just put some 1-bys on the ceiling in there. And then in this area over here, we will just build like a wall out in front of the pipe. So the pipe kind of exits the house like right below me right here. So it runs down, takes a turn, and then it'll go out. And then the septic tank will be right over there next to the truck on the other side of the sidewalk. So we'll put the septic tank there, and then the field lines will run out in the front yard that way. So that's where we're at with the plumbing. We got our laundry hook up here. Hot on the left, cold on the right. I think that's how it's supposed to go, right? Hot on the left, cold on the right. Shit flows downhill. That's what they say. Payday's on Friday. So yeah, so we got that, and then we got our bathroom here. And then upstairs, I'll show you, because we're doing Curdy showers in the bathrooms, the Schluter Curdy showers. I've done quite a few of those. I like that system from a waterproofing perspective. We basically just had them run a rough drain pipe stubbed up, because the Curdy drain will actually glue onto that pipe. So when we go to hook up the Curdy drain, when the tiler does it, we'll cut it off at the perfect height and just glue that drain into place, so it'll all work into place with that pan. So we got our vanity plumbing up here for this bathroom. And then we've got same deal over here. And then we've got a double vanity in this bathroom. So we'll have a 72-inch double vanity here. We got a toilet back here. And then our shower valve in this bathroom is going to be on this wall right here. Because the reason I did that is because the door opens here. So if you need to walk into the bathroom and turn on the shower real quick, we'll turn it on here. We did have a little bit of a boo-boo mistake. It's not that big of a deal, because I've had other houses where it's been like this. It's not like perfectly ideal. But this bathroom down here, the plumber ordered the tub, the drain was on the wrong side. So when they went to go open the tub, the drain was actually over there. So we're actually gonna have to put our shower valve over here rather than sending this tub back and getting another one. It's really not that big of a deal. This is a big enough bathroom. If you need to turn on the shower, you'll have the toilet here. You'll just have to step right here and turn it on that way, rather than having it over here would be more ideal, but it's really not that big of a deal. These are just things that happen when you're plumbing. Also, this drain had to come there because there's a wall, or there's a truss directly under this, and you can't drill into that truss. So they started drilling this out, and they realized there's a truss underneath it. So we had to take the drain out this way and go down that way. Not a big deal. The vanity will cover that all up. We might have to cut out a little notch in the bottom of the vanity, but that's not a big deal at all. That happens. So that's just part of construction. You don't always get everything perfect. So today I'm going to finish working on all of the air sealing details in the eaves. I've been using this polyiso board here, and basically just filling in all the gaps in the eaves, and then using some you can see up here, using some canned spray foam, window and door spray foam, and basically just sealing off all of these eaves so that we don't get any air leakage. So I've got to do the front side of the house and then a little bit on the back corner there today. But all those areas I can actually do from in the attic space. I don't have to get up on a ladder really tall and do it. I can just do it from the attic space. So that's what's going on today. And I gotta call the fireplace guy, figure out when he's coming out. My the roofer came by yesterday late afternoon, evening, probably about 5 o'clock, and measured everything out. He's gonna go ahead and get the order in and get his installer lined up to get started on the roof. So he's gonna let me know today and get all that stuff ordered. So we should have a roof here within the next week. We've got good weather out till like Tuesday of next week, no rain in the forecast. So if we can't get the roof done by the end of this week, we can get it done maybe first of next week, and we can have this place dried in before the next rain comes in. And then we've got doors that are scheduled to come at the end of next week. The doors should be in. So I think all the doors minus this big door. We don't have that one yet. We're still waiting on that, but that's not that big of a deal. And then the front door here, we got to make a knockdown jamb for that, because we're not going to install the nice mahogany doors until sort of later on in the process. We don't want them to get damaged. So we'll put a knockdown jamb in there. So that's where we're at. All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking in, and I'll do another update video later. Thanks. Concrete here. It's about to be there. There's the concrete coming out. Look at that. Last little bit.